Jasmine Carter had perfected the art of being invisible. 28 years old, 5 years at Titan Investments, and she could count on one hand the number of executives who knew her name. The rest just knew her function, the assistant who makes things work. She didn't mind, not really. Okay, maybe she minded a little. Jasmine, I need the Bradford files. Now. Senior VP Mitchell didn't look up from his phone. Already on your desk, sir. He grunted. No thank you, no eye contact. Jasmine walked back to her desk. Well, not exactly a desk, more like a workspace shoved between the copy room and the kitchen. Prime real estate for someone the company considered essential but forgettable. Her phone buzzed. A text from Chloe, her best friend since university. Chloe? Girl, tell me you didn't cancel tonight. Jasmine, I didn't cancel. Chloe, liar. I can feel your lying energy from here. Jasmine, it's a blind date with someone named Chad. Chloe, his name is Brad. Jasmine, even worse. Chloe, you're going. I already told him you love Italian food and terrible jokes. Jasmine, I hate you. Chloe, 7 p.m. Don't be late. And please wear something that doesn't scream. I organize spreadsheets for fun. Jasmine looked down at her navy blouse and black pencil skirt. What was wrong with professional? She looked. Fine. Neat. Forgettable. She sighed and opened her desk drawer, checking her backup blouse. Cream-colored silk that Chloe had forced her to buy 6 months ago. For emergencies, Chloe had said. Like when you finally realize you're a knockout and need to dress like one. The morning crawled by. Budget reports, calendar updates, coffee runs for people who didn't say please. At noon, Jasmine grabbed her lunch, leftover jollof rice her mama had packed the night before, and headed to the small park across the street. She always ate alone. Preferred it, actually. 30 minutes of not being needed by anyone. She sat on her usual bench under the jacaranda tree and opened the container. The smell made her smile. Mama's jollof was undefeated. Is that... A voice startled her. Jasmine looked up. Daniel from IT stood there, nose practically twitching. Jollof rice, she confirmed. Marry me. She laughed. You say that every time you smell my lunch, and I mean it every time. He gestured to the bench. Mind if I... Go ahead. Daniel sat, unwrapping a sad-looking sandwich. You know, most people in this building think good food comes from that overpriced salad place on level 2. Most people in this building don't have a Nigerian mother. Lucky you. They ate in comfortable silence for a moment. Daniel was one of the few people who actually talked to her like a person, probably because IT lived in the basement and had their own ecosystem of being ignored. So, Daniel said casually, you still working for the Ice King? Jasmine nearly choked on her rice. Don't call him that. Everyone calls him that. Dominic Shaw, 41 years old, never smiles. Rumor is his heart got frozen in a corporate merger back in 2015. That's not... Jasmine paused. Actually, she'd never seen Dominic Shaw smile, not once in 5 years. He's just... focused. He's terrifying. He's brilliant. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Defending the boss, that's new. Jasmine shrugged, suddenly uncomfortable. Truth was, she didn't know why she'd defended Dominic. The man barely acknowledged her existence. 3 words maximum per interaction. Cancel the meeting. I need those reports. Thank you. Always polite, always distant, always looking through her like she was made of glass. But she'd watched him for 5 years, watched how he carried the weight of a billion-dollar company on his shoulders, how he stayed later than everyone else, how his jaw tightened when someone in the boardroom said something stupid. She'd never spoken to him about anything personal, never had a real conversation, but she noticed things, like how he drank his coffee black with 1 sugar, how he loosened his tie exactly 3 inches when he was stressed, how his Australian accent got thicker when he was tired. Earth to Jasmine. Daniel waved a hand in front of her face. Sorry, what? I said you're going to that thing tonight, right? Chloe's been texting me about it. She texted you? She texted everyone you know. Very thorough, that one. Jasmine groaned. It's a blind date. I'm going to hate it. Probably, but Chloe will murder you if you bail. I know. Her phone alarm went off. Lunch break over. Back to the building. back to the 12th floor, back to being invisible. The afternoon passed in a blur of emails and phone calls. By 6:30, the office had emptied out. Friday night. Everyone had lives to get to, except Jasmine, who still had 3 expense reports to finish. She glanced at the clock, 6:47 p.m. The date was at 7. She looked down at her blouse. There it was, a massive pen stain right over her left breast. How had she not noticed? Crap, 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 crap. She grabbed her backup blouse from the drawer and looked around. The bathrooms were on the other side of the floor. The lights were already dimmed in most sections. She could see the cleaning crew starting on level 11. Then she remembered the old archive room on 12. No one used it anymore. Half the lights didn't even work. Perfect. Jasmine grabbed her access card and walked quickly down the hall. The archive room door was supposed to be locked, but the handle turned easily. The lock had been broken for months. She'd reported it twice. No one had fixed it. She slipped inside, shutting the door behind her, hit the light switch. One bulb flickered on in the corner, dim but enough. Jasmine set her bag down on a dusty box and unbuttoned her stained blouse, pulling it off. The cool air hit her skin. She was standing in her nude bra and skirt, reaching for the clean blouse when the door opened. Dominic Shaw walked in, eyes on his phone, clearly looking for something on the shelves. They both froze. His eyes went wide. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. For exactly 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then Dominic's face turned red, actually red, and he spun around so fast he nearly tripped over his own feet. The door, I didn't, I'm sorry. Jasmine grabbed her stained blouse and held it against her chest. It was locked. The lock's been broken for weeks. His voice was strained. He was still facing the door. I didn't know anyone was here. I'm sorry, He walked out quickly, pulling the door shut behind him. Jasmine stood there, frozen, her heart pounding so hard she could hear it. Did that just happen? Did Dominic Shaw just see her half naked? Her hands were shaking as she pulled on the clean blouse. She buttoned it wrong the first time. Had to start over. Outside the door, Dominic stood with one hand pressed against the wall, breathing like he'd just run a marathon. He'd seen her, not just seen. The curve of her shoulder, the small scar near her collarbone, the way her eyes had gone wide with shock. For 5 years, Jasmine Carter had been a name on his calendar, a voice on the phone, a figure that moved efficiently through his office. And in 3 seconds, she'd become devastatingly, impossibly real. He ran a hand through his hair. This was bad. This was inappropriate. This was... The door opened. Jasmine stepped out, fully dressed, face carefully neutral. Mr. Shaw, I apologize for... Don't. He cut her off, still not quite meeting her eyes. I should have knocked. That was my fault. The door was supposed to be locked. I know. I'll have maintenance fix it Monday. They stood there awkwardly, neither moving. I should go, Jasmine said finally. I have plans. Of course. Yes. Have a good evening. She walked past him quickly, heels clicking on the marble floor. Dominic waited until she disappeared around the corner. Then he went back into his office, closed the door, and sat down at his desk. He didn't open his laptop, didn't check his phone. He just sat there staring at nothing, realizing with uncomfortable clarity that for the first time in 5 years he'd actually seen Jasmine Carter, and he couldn't unsee her. Jasmine cancelled the blind date. She texted Brad, or was it Chad? Some excuse about a family emergency. Then she texted Chloe. Don't ask. Chloe's response was immediate. I'm asking. Jasmine, tomorrow, I'll explain tomorrow. Chloe, this better be good. It wasn't good, it was mortifying. Jasmine spent Friday night replaying the moment in her head, the look on Dominic's face, the way he'd turned around so fast, the awkward silence after. She couldn't go back to work Monday. How could she? Saturday morning, her phone rang at 9. Mama. Jasmine Adaze Carter, why didn't you come for dinner last night? I forgot, Mama, I'm sorry. You forgot. Her mother's tone could cut glass. Your brother drove all the way from Newcastle to see you. Guilt settled heavy in her chest. I'll come today, I promise. And bring that friend of yours, the loud one. Chloe? Yes, that one. She makes me laugh. 2 hours later, Jasmine and Chloe were on the train to Parramatta, heading to her mother's house. So, Chloe said, not even waiting until they'd left Central Station. What happened Friday? Jasmine stared out the window. My boss saw me half naked. Chloe choked on her iced coffee. I'm sorry, what? I was changing in the archive room. He walked in. Dominic Shaw, the Ice King himself. Don't call him that. Girl. Chloe grabbed her arm. How much did he see? Enough. Jasmine's face burned just thinking about it. I was in my bra. And nothing. He apologized and left. It was awful, Chloe. Or, Chloe said slowly, a grin spreading across her face. It was fate. It was a broken door lock and terrible timing. The universe works in mysterious ways. The universe is cruel, Chloe laughed, loud enough that other passengers looked over. You've been crushing on this man for what, 2 years? I do not have a crush on Dominic Shaw. You literally know how he takes his coffee. That's my job. You know his tie-loosening patterns. Observational skills. You defended him to Daniel from IT. Jasmine had nothing for that one. Thought so. Chloe sat back, looking entirely too pleased with herself. The man finally sees you, literally, and you're treating it like a disaster. This is a rom-com meet cute. This is a workplace harassment lawsuit waiting to happen. Only if he's creepy about it. Was he creepy? Jasmine thought about how quickly Dominic had turned around, how red his face had gotten, how genuinely apologetic he'd sounded. No, she admitted. He was. Mortified. See? He's a gentleman. A hot billionaire gentleman who finally noticed you exist. He noticed I have terrible timing and questionable decision-making skills. Same thing. Her mother's house was exactly as Jasmine remembered, warm, loud, and smelling like heaven. Mama was in the kitchen making jollof rice and chicken. Her brother Jonathan was in the living room, arguing with someone on the phone about football. There's my baby girl. Mama pulled Jasmine into a tight hug, then held her at arm's length. You look tired. You're not sleeping. I'm sleeping fine, Mama. Her mother's eyes narrowed. And why no boyfriend? You're 28. When I was 28, I already had 2 children. Different times, Mama. Excuses. She turned to Chloe. And you, still single? Chloe grinned. Tragically. Beautiful girls wasting time. Sit, sit. Food is ready. Lunch was chaotic in the best way. Jonathan told stories about his new job. Mama interrogated them both about their love lives. Chloe, never one to miss an opportunity, almost mentioned the Friday incident 3 times before Jasmine kicked her under the table. By the time they left, it was nearly 6 p.m. The sun was setting over Sydney, painting the sky orange and pink. Your mama is amazing, Chloe said on the train back. She's exhausting. She cares, that's nice. Jasmine leaned her head against the window. I don't know what to do Monday. You go to work, act normal, pretend it never happened. That's your advice? Unless you want to quit your job and move to New Zealand, yeah. Sunday was worse. Jasmine tried to distract herself, cleaned her entire apartment, did 3 loads of laundry, reorganized her closet. Nothing worked. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Dominic's face. The shock, the red creeping up his neck. She wondered if he was thinking about it too. Across the city, in a penthouse overlooking the harbour, Dominic Shaw was absolutely thinking about it. He'd spent the entire weekend trying not to, worked on reports, went for a run, called his sister in Melbourne. None of it helped. Saturday night, lying in bed, he stared at the ceiling and let himself replay it. Not the image, though that was burned into his brain, but the moment after. The look in her eyes, shock, yes, but also something else. Disappointment, embarrassment. He'd walked in on his assistant half-dressed, and his first thought wasn't about harassment policies or workplace boundaries. It was, she has a scar on her shoulder. I wonder how she got it. What kind of person thinks that? He rolled over, punched his pillow, tried to sleep. Failed. Sunday morning, Claire called. You sound weird, she said without preamble. Good morning to you, too. Seriously, What's wrong? Did someone die? Did you lose a client? I'm fine. Liar. I know your fine voice, this isn't it. Dominic sighed. I did something stupid on Friday. How stupid? Walked in on someone changing. Oh God, please tell me it wasn't my assistant, Jasmine. Silence then. The one you've been half in love with for 3 years. I am not. He stopped. What? Dom, I have eyes. Every time you mention her, your voice changes. Jasmine reorganized the filing system. Jasmine caught an error in the budget. You talk about her like she's some kind of superhero. That's not... You know her coffee order. You told me once she was the only person in that building with sense, and now you've seen her half naked and you're spiraling. He didn't respond. Oh my God, Claire said. I'm right. You do have feelings for her. It doesn't matter. She's my assistant. There are rules, boundaries. Rules you want to break? Claire, I'm just saying maybe this wasn't stupid. Maybe it was a wake-up call. After they hung up, Dominic sat on his balcony watching ferries cross the harbour. Claire was wrong. He didn't have feelings for Jasmine. He respected her, valued her work, that was all, except when had he memorized her coffee order? Not because someone told him, because he'd noticed. Watched her at the cafe downstairs, flat white, 2 sugars. When had he started listening for her voice in the morning? The soft, good morning she gave everyone, even people who ignored her. When had he started noticing the way she bit her lip when she was concentrating? Stop, he told himself. This is inappropriate. But Monday morning, driving to work, his hands were sweating. What would he say to her? How did you apologize for something like that without making it worse? Monday morning arrived with grey clouds and the promise of rain. Jasmine got to the office at 7:30, a full hour early. Maybe if she buried herself in work, the awkwardness would be less intense. She was wrong. At 8:15, Dominic walked past her desk. Their eyes met for half a second. He opened his mouth, closed it, kept walking. No coffee, no greeting, nothing. Jasmine's stomach sank. So that's how it would be. Pretend it never happened. Professional distance. Fine. She could do that. At 10, she had to deliver files to his office. Knocked 3 times, waited for his gruff, "Come in." He was at his computer, didn't look up. "The Henderson reports," she said, setting them on his desk. "Thank you." She turned to leave. "Jasmine?" She stopped, hand on the doorknob. "Yes, Mr. Shaw?" The formal title made him wince. About Friday. I should have knocked. That was unprofessional of me. The door should have been locked. It wasn't your fault. Still, I apologize. Accepted." She paused at the door. "Are we okay?" He finally looked at her. Really looked at her. "I don't know." The honesty surprised her. Me neither. They stood there, the awkwardness thick enough to cut. "I'll have maintenance fix that lock," he said finally. "Thank you, Mr. Shaw." After she left, Dominic put his head in his hands. What are you doing, he thought. Just talk to her like a normal human being. But he couldn't. Because looking at her now felt different, and he didn't know what to do with different. Tuesday morning, Jasmine found a flat white with 2 sugars on her desk. No note, no explanation. She looked up. Dominic was already in his office, door closed. Wednesday, another coffee appeared. This time she caught him placing it down. "You don't have to do this," she said. "I know." He didn't meet her eyes. "I want to." Thursday, the coffee came with a post-it note. "Sorry for being weird Monday. D." She smiled despite herself. Friday, she was already at her desk when he arrived. He paused, holding 2 cups, looking uncertain. "Morning," she offered. "Morning." He set the coffee down carefully. "How do you take your tea?" "I don't drink tea at work." "Oh, I thought never mind. But I like Earl Grey at home with honey." Something softened in his face. Noted. By the end of the week, the coffee thing had become routine. Every day, 2 cups, flat white, 2 sugars for her, long black, 1 sugar for him. He never made a big deal of it. Just set the cup on her desk, said morning, and kept walking. Jasmine didn't know what to make of it. "He's courting you," Chloe declared Thursday night over wine at Jasmine's apartment. "He's being polite." Billionaires don't personally deliver coffee to be polite. They have people for that. Maybe he feels guilty. For what? Accidentally seeing you in your bra? Girl, please. Men don't bring daily coffee because they feel guilty. They bring flowers once and move on. Jasmine twirled her wine glass. It's weird, right? We've worked together for 5 years and now suddenly he knows my coffee order. It's not sudden. Chloe leaned forward. I bet he's known for a while. He just had an excuse to show it now. That doesn't make sense. Love never does. Nobody said anything about love. Chloe just smiled and refilled their glasses. Friday afternoon, Jasmine was filing reports when Dominic's voice came over the intercom. Jasmine, can you come to my office, please? Her stomach flipped. In 5 years, he'd never used the intercom, always just appeared at her desk or sent an email. She smoothed her skirt and walked to his office. The door was open. He was standing by the window looking out at the Sydney skyline. You wanted to see me. He turned, closed the door. Oh God, this was it. He was going to fire her, or transfer her, or... I have a work event tomorrow night, he said. Fundraiser for the Children's Hospital. I need a +1. Jasmine blinked. You want me to? Find you a date? No. He looked uncomfortable. I'm asking if you'd go with me. The office suddenly felt very small. As your assistant. As my guest. Mr. Shaw. Dominic, he interrupted. You called me Dominic once on Monday. I'd like you to do it again. She remembered, in her mother's kitchen, telling Chloe about him. The name had slipped out naturally. This isn't appropriate. Why not? Because you're my boss. It's a work event. Technically, you'd be working. In an evening gown? He almost smiled. The dress code is black tie. Jasmine should say no. This was crossing about 15 different lines, but something about the way he was looking at her, nervous, hopeful, completely un-CEO-like, made her hesitate. What time? She heard herself ask. I'll pick you up at 7. You don't know where I live. I'll find out. He paused. Is that a yes? That's a... I'll think about it. I'll take it. She turned to leave, then stopped at the door. Why me? Because I'm tired of pretending I don't notice you. Saturday night arrived too fast. Jasmine stood in front of her closet in full panic mode. Chloe had come over at 4 to help, which mostly meant drinking champagne and providing commentary. The red one, Chloe said definitively. It's too much. It's perfect. Girl, you're going to a charity ball with a billionaire. Too much doesn't exist. The dress was red silk, fitted, with a slit up one thigh. Jasmine had bought it on sale 2 years ago and never worn it. My edges need work, she muttered, peering in the mirror. Your edges are fine, stop stalling. By 6:30, Jasmine was ready, hair in an elegant updo, subtle makeup, the red dress that made her skin glow. Chloe Wolfe whistled. If he doesn't fall in love with you tonight, he's broken. This isn't a date. Keep telling yourself that. At 7 exactly, her phone buzzed. I'm downstairs. Jasmine grabbed her clutch, kissed Chloe on the cheek and headed down. Dominic was leaning against a black Mercedes, wearing a tuxedo that probably cost more than her monthly rent. When he saw her, he straightened so fast he nearly dropped his phone. Jasmine. Her name came out rough. You look professional, she offered. Devastating. Heat crept up her neck. You clean up okay yourself. He opened the car door for her. The interior smelled like leather and his cologne, something woody and expensive. I should mention, he said as he slid into the driver's seat, my sister will be there tonight. Your sister? Claire. She's relentless. Fair warning. Relentless how? She'll ask inappropriate questions and make assumptions. What kind of assumptions? He pulled into traffic. That we're together. We should probably clarify that we're not. Probably. Neither of them said anything for a moment. Although, Dominic added quietly, I wouldn't mind if she assumed it. Just for tonight. Jasmine looked at him. The streetlights cast shadows across his face. His jaw was tight, like he was bracing for rejection. Just for tonight, she agreed. His shoulders relaxed. The fundraiser was at the Ivy Ballroom. All crystal chandeliers and old money. Dominic's hand found the small of her back as they entered, gentle and possessive at once. A tall blonde woman in emerald green spotted them immediately and made a beeline over. "Dom, you actually brought someone?" She looked at Jasmine with undisguised delight. "And she's gorgeous. I'm Claire." "Jasmine." "Jasmine." Claire said the name like she was memorizing it. "How long have you two been?" "We work together," Dominic said quickly. "Oh, that's how it starts." Claire winked at Jasmine. "He's been impossible for years. Good luck fixing him." "Claire, I'm just saying it's nice to see you with someone who's clearly way too good for you." "Thank you for that," Dominic said dryly. Claire squeezed Jasmine's hand. "Dance with him at least once, he's not terrible at it." Then she disappeared into the crowd. Jasmine turned to Dominic. "She's a lot, I know." "I was going to say lovely." He looked at her like she'd said something profound. The orchestra started playing. Couples drifted onto the dance floor. Dominic held out his hand. "Just for tonight." Jasmine placed her hand in his. The moment felt bigger than a dance. It felt like a beginning. Dominic Shaw knew how to dance. Jasmine discovered this the moment his hand settled on her waist, and he pulled her into the waltz. He moved with the kind of confidence that came from expensive lessons and years of practice. "You didn't mention you could dance," she said. "You didn't ask." "I didn't ask a lot of things. We have time." The way he said it, like time was something they'd spend together, made her heart do something complicated. "Your sister seems nice," Jasmine offered. "She's annoying." "She cares about you." "That's what makes her annoying." He spun her gently. "She's been trying to set me up for 3 years. "Why?" "Because apparently I'm married to my work and emotionally unavailable." He said it like he was quoting her words. "Is she wrong?" Dominic met her eyes. "I thought she was, until last Friday." "What changed last Friday?" "I saw you." "You saw me half-dressed?" "No." His grip on her waist tightened slightly. "I saw you, the real you, vulnerable and surprised and completely human. And I realized I'd been looking through you for 5 years. The music swelled around them. Other couples danced past in a blur of tuxedos and gowns. "I'm not interesting," Jasmine said quietly. "You're wrong. I organize calendars and answer phones. You hold an entire company together. There's a difference." She stumbled slightly. He caught her, steadied her. "Sorry," she muttered. "Don't apologize." He leaned closer, his breath warm against her ear. "I should apologize. For 5 years of not seeing you, for treating you like furniture, for being so focused on profits and margins that I missed the most competent person in the building." "Dominic, I know your coffee order," he interrupted, "but I don't know your favorite color. I know you're always there before 8 a.m., but I don't know if you're a morning person or if you just force yourself awake. I know you handle crises with perfect calm, but I don't know what makes you laugh." The song ended. Another began. They kept dancing. "Forest green," Jasmine said. "What?" "My favorite color, forest green." Something softened in his expression. "Mine's navy blue." "I hate mornings. The alarm goes off and I want to throw my phone across the room. I haven't slept past 6 a.m. in 15 years. Bad puns make me laugh. The worse, the better. I can't tell jokes. I always mess up the timing." They were barely moving now, just swaying while conversations built between them. "Why me?" Jasmine asked again. "You could have anyone here tonight." "I don't want anyone here." He said it simply. "I want to know the woman who brings jollof rice for lunch and types faster than anyone I've ever seen. The one who fixes problems before I know they exist. The one who—" "Dominic Shaw!" A booming voice interrupted them. A man in his 60s approached, red-faced and smiling. Dominic's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "Malcolm," he said, his tone perfectly polite and completely cold. "Didn't know you were seeing anyone. Who's this lovely creature?" Jasmine felt Dominic tense beside her. "Jasmine Carter," she said, extending her hand. "Nice to meet you." Malcolm's handshake was too firm, too long. His eyes traveled down her dress in a way that made her skin crawl. "Carter. Any relation to the Carters in finance?" "No." "Pity." "Well, Shaw, you always did have good taste." He clapped Dominic on the shoulder. "Come find me later, need to discuss that Hong Kong deal." He walked away. Dominic's hand on her waist had turned rigid. "I'm sorry," he said. "For what?" "Malcolm's an ass. He always has been. I've dealt with worse. That doesn't make it okay." They'd stopped dancing completely now. Other couples flowed around them like water around stones. "Do you want to get out of here?" Dominic asked suddenly. "The event's not over." "I don't care." 10 minutes later, they were in his car, driving along the harbour. Jasmine had her heels off, her feet tucked under her. The city lights reflected off the water like scattered diamonds. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Does it matter?" "Not really." He pulled over at a lookout point. Below them, Sydney stretched out in a carpet of lights. The opera house glowed white against the dark water. They got out of the car. The night air was cool. Jasmine shivered, and before she could react, Dominic had shrugged off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. "You'll be cold," she protested. "I'll survive." They stood at the railing, not quite touching, but close enough to feel each other's warmth. "Can I ask you something?" Jasmine said. "Anything. Why did you really invite me tonight? And don't say it was for work." Dominic was quiet for a long moment. "Because I wanted to spend time with you, outside the office without the excuse of needing reports or cancelling meetings. I wanted—" He paused. "I wanted you to see me as something other than your boss. And what do you want me to see?" He turned to face her. The harbour lights caught in his eyes. A man who's interested, who's been interested for longer than he realized, who's terrible at this but willing to try. Jasmine's heart was pounding. "Try what?" "Getting to know you, really know you, if you'll let me." The wind picked up, carrying the salt smell of the ocean. Somewhere in the distance, a ferry horn sounded. "One condition," Jasmine said. "Name it. No more Mr. Shaw. If we're doing this, whatever this is, I'm not calling you Mr. Shaw." He smiled, really smiled. It transformed his entire face. "Deal." They stood there, wrapped in jacket and possibility, while Sydney sparkled below them. It felt like the beginning of something neither of them could name yet, but it felt right. Sunday morning, Jasmine woke up to 17 texts from Chloe. "Chloe. Girl. Chloe. Where are you? Chloe. Did you die? Chloe. Did you get married? Chloe. I need details. Chloe. If you don't call me in the next hour, I'm calling the police." Jasmine smiled and hit dial. Chloe answered before the first ring finished. "Finally, I've been up since 6. It's Sunday. It's gossip. Tell me everything, every single thing. What was the gala like? What did his sister say? Did you kiss him?" "We didn't kiss, but you wanted to." Jasmine flopped back onto her pillows. "Yeah, I really did. Oh my God, you're falling for him. I don't know what I'm doing. That's how you know it's real." Chloe's voice softened. "So what happened after the gala?" "We drove to a lookout point, talked. He gave me his jacket. Then he drove me home. And nothing. He walked me to my door, said goodnight, and left. No kiss? Not even a cheek kiss? Chloe, he's still my boss. Details. Important details." There was a pause. Then, "Do you want this to be more?" Jasmine stared at her ceiling. "I don't know, maybe. It's complicated." "It's only complicated if you make it complicated," says the woman who's been single for 2 years. "Exactly. I'm an expert in what not to do, and what you shouldn't do is overthink this." After they hung up, Jasmine lay in bed for another hour replaying Saturday night, the way Dominic had looked at her, the gentleness in his voice when he said he wanted to know her. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "It's Dominic. Got your number from HR. Hope that's not too creepy. Want to grab coffee tomorrow, before work. Neutral territory." She read it 3 times. Jasmine. "How early?" Dominic. "I know you hate mornings. 7:30? Jasmine. "Make it 7:45 and I'm in." Dominic. "Deal. The place on Kent Street?" Jasmine. "See you there." She spent the rest of Sunday in a daze, cleaned her apartment, watched TV without retaining a single plot point, changed her outfit 4 times for Monday. At 7:43. Monday morning, Jasmine walked into the coffee shop on Kent Street. Dominic was already there, sitting at a corner table with 2 cups in front of him. "You're early," she said, sliding into the chair across from him. Couldn't sleep. Nervous? Terrified? She laughed. Of coffee? Of messing this up. He pushed one cup toward her. Flat white, 2 sugars. You really do know my order. I've known for 3 years. I just never had a reason to show it. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, sipping their drinks. The morning rush flowed around them. People in suits grabbing takeaway, students with laptops, delivery drivers picking up orders. So, Dominic said finally, I have a proposition. That sounds ominous. Have dinner with me, tonight, somewhere that's not the office or a work event, just dinner. Like a date. Exactly like a date. Jasmine's stomach flipped. We work together. I'm aware. People will talk. Let them. Dominic, I know all the reasons this is complicated, he interrupted. I've been listing them in my head for 3 days. But here's what I keep coming back to. I like you. I want to know you better. And I hope you feel the same way. She did. God help her, she really did. There's a Thai place in Newtown, she said slowly. It's small, casual, the kind of place where nobody knows who you are. Perfect. 6:30. I'll pick you up. I'll meet you there. He raised an eyebrow. You don't trust me to know where you live? I don't trust myself in a car with you. Something flickered in his eyes, heat and surprise and pleasure all at once. Fair enough. Work was strange that day. They fell into their usual rhythm, Jasmine managing his schedule, Dominic in and out of meetings. But everything felt different, charged. Every time he walked past her desk, she felt it. Every time she brought him files, their fingers brushed. At 3 p.m., Claire Shaw appeared in the office. Where's my brother? She asked Jasmine. Conference call. Should be done in 20 minutes. Perfect. That gives us time to talk. Claire perched on the edge of Jasmine's desk. You're good for him. We just work together. Please, I saw how he looked at you Saturday. That's not a we work together look. Jasmine's cheeks heated. It's complicated. The best things usually are. Claire studied her. He's been alone for a long time. Buried himself in work after our father died. I thought he'd forgotten how to be human. I'm sorry about your father. Don't be, he was terrible. But Dom took it hard. Felt like he had to prove something. She smiled. Then you show up in a red dress and suddenly he's leaving galas early and smiling at his phone. He smiles at his phone? Yesterday, 3 times, it was disturbing. Claire stood. Just be patient with him. He's rusty at this. So am I. Then you're perfect for each other. At 6:15, Jasmine left the office, changed in the bathroom into jeans and a soft cream sweater, left her hair down, minimal makeup. The Thai restaurant was exactly as she'd described. Small, warm, smelling like lemongrass and chili. Dominic was already there, sitting at a corner table, also in jeans. She'd never seen him in jeans. You look different, she said, sliding into the booth. Good different or bad different? Human different. He laughed. Actually laughed. The sound was rusty but genuine. They ordered pad thai and green curry and spring rolls. Talked about everything except work. She learned he collected vintage watches but never wore them. He learned she wanted to write a novel someday but was terrified of failing. What would it be about, he asked. A woman who's invisible until someone finally sees her. His eyes held hers. Sounds like a story worth telling. By the time they left, it was nearly 9. The street was quiet. Dominic walked her to the train station. I had a good time, Jasmine said. Me too. They stood there, neither wanting to leave. Same time next week, he asked. Tomorrow, she countered. He grinned. Tomorrow. This time, when he leaned in, she didn't pull away. The kiss was soft, careful, sweet. When they separated, he touched her cheek gently. Good night, Jasmine. Good night, Dominic. She floated home. Dating your boss was complicated. Dating your boss in secret was exponentially more complicated. Jasmine discovered this Tuesday morning when Dominic walked past her desk and she had to physically stop herself from smiling at him. He paused. Morning. Good morning, Mr. Shaw. The formality felt wrong after last night's kiss. His jaw tightened. I need those Henderson reports by noon. Already on your desk. He nodded and walked away. Professional, distant. It stung even though she understood why. At lunch, her phone buzzed. Dominic. I hated that. Jasmine. What? Dominic. Calling you to my office like you're just my assistant, pretending I didn't kiss you 12 hours ago? Jasmine. We agreed to keep it professional at work. Dominic. I know. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Jasmine. Dinner tonight. Dominic. Already made reservations, Italian place in Surrey Hills, 7 p.m. Jasmine. It's a date. She was smiling at her phone when Daniel from IT appeared. You look happy, he observed, stealing a chip from her lunch. It's Tuesday. I'm always happy on Tuesdays. You hate Tuesdays. You once called them Monday's annoying younger sibling. Jasmine tried to school her expression. Maybe I've changed. Or maybe you've got a new man. Daniel grinned. The girls from accounting saw you at that Thai place last night, with someone tall, dark, and expensive looking. Her heart stopped. It was just dinner. Uh-huh. Does this expensive-looking someone have a name? None of your business. Fair. He studied her. Just be careful, yeah? Office romances get messy. After he left, Jasmine stared at her salad without seeing it. People had seen them. People were talking. This was going to get complicated fast. That evening, instead of a fancy restaurant, Dominic picked her up in casual clothes. Where are we going? She asked, noticing his jeans and Henley. Somewhere different. Trust me. She did. 20 minutes later, they were at the Glebe markets, strings of lights overhead, food trucks lining the streets, live music drifting from a corner stage. It was chaotic, crowded, and completely unlike anywhere a CEO would typically be seen. This okay? He asked, suddenly uncertain. I know it's not. It's perfect. They walked through the market, sharing dumplings from a Chinese truck and tacos from another. Dominic got recognized twice, but people left him alone, sensing this wasn't a business moment. How did you find this place? Jasmine asked, licking salsa from her thumb. Used to come here in university, before everything got complicated. He bought them both mango smoothies from a fruit stand, thought it might be nice to remember what normal feels like. They sat on a bench near the stage where a folk band was setting up. Does it bother you? Jasmine asked suddenly. Dating your assistant? The power dynamic? He didn't answer right away. Yes, every day. But not dating you bothers me more. That's not very CEO of you. Maybe I'm tired of being just a CEO. The band started playing, something acoustic and slow. Couples around them swayed to the music. Daniel saw us last night, Jasmine said. Well, not Daniel, but people from accounting. Dominic's expression didn't change. Does that bother you? Does it bother you? I asked first. She watched the band, gathering her thoughts. I've spent 5 years being invisible. Now suddenly people are noticing me because I'm dating the CEO. You're not dating me because I'm the CEO. I know that, but they don't. He reached for her hand. We can stop. If this is too complicated. Do you want to stop? No. God, no. His grip tightened. But I don't want to make your life harder either. A street performer juggling fire walked past. Kids laughed and pointed. The normalcy of it all, the chaos, the crowds, the music, made everything feel less heavy. My mama wants to meet you, Jasmine said, changing the subject. Dominic nearly choked on his smoothie. Sorry, what? I told her I was seeing someone. She immediately demanded details and insisted I bring you to Sunday dinner. When? This Sunday, if you're free. No pressure if you're not ready. I'm free. She blinked. Just like that. You met Claire. Seems only fair I meet your family. Claire ambushed me at a gala. This is different. How? My mama will interrogate you. My brother will try to intimidate you. It'll be intense. I run a billion-dollar company. I think I can handle Sunday dinner. You've never met my mama, he smiled, looking forward to it. They walked through the market as vendors started closing up. The lights overhead twinkled like stars. Thank you, Jasmine said softly. For what? For this, for being human with me. He stopped walking, turned to face her. You make it easy. They kissed right there, surrounded by closing food trucks and distant music. It felt more real than any fancy restaurant ever could. Wednesday was worse. Jasmine was leaving the office building at 6 when Senior VP Mitchell appeared beside her on the sidewalk. "Ms. Carter, walking to the train?" Her stomach dropped. "Yes. Mind if I walk with you? I'm headed that way." She couldn't say no without being rude. "Of course." They walked in silence for half a block. Then, "So," he said, adjusting his briefcase. "You and Shaw? I don't know what you mean." "Please, the whole office knows. The market date last night, someone's cousin saw you. We're not—" "Save it." He stopped at the corner, waiting for the light. "Here's some free advice. Office romances end badly, especially when there's a power imbalance. With all due respect, no respect needed, just stating facts." The light changed. He started walking. "When it falls apart, and it will, guess who'll be looking for a new job? Hint, not the billionaire CEO." He left her at the train station entrance. Jasmine stood there, commuters flowing around her, hands shaking. She made it to the bathroom at the station before the tears started, locked herself in a stall. This was a mistake. All of it. She should have said no to the gala, no to coffee, no to— Her phone buzzed. "Dominic, just leaving office, want to grab dinner?" She stared at the message, wiped her eyes. "Jasmine, not hungry. Thanks though." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "Dominic, what's wrong?" "Jasmine, nothing. Just tired." "Dominic, Jasmine, Jasmine." "Mitchell cornered me at the station. Said some things." "Dominic, I'm coming to get you. Where are you?" "Jasmine, you don't have to—" "Dominic, where?" she told him. 15 minutes later, his car pulled up. She got in without a word. He didn't start driving, just turned to face her. "What did he say?" "That office romances end badly, that I'll be the one out of a job." Dominic's jaw tightened. He's wrong. Is he, though? "Yes." He reached for her hand. "Look at me, please." She did. His eyes were intense, sincere. "Mitchell's an asshole. He's been bitter since I promoted someone over him 3 years ago. This isn't about you, it's about me. But he's not wrong about the power dynamic. No." His voice was fierce. "You're not replaceable, not to this company, not to me. Dominic, if anyone makes you feel uncomfortable about this, about us, you tell me, immediately. I don't care who it is. You can't fire people for gossiping. Watch me." He started the car. "Where do you want to go? Home? Somewhere else?" "Surprise me." He drove to Mrs. Macquarie's Point, quiet, overlooking the harbour, the opera house lit up across the water. They sat on the harbour wall, legs dangling. "I talked to HR this morning," he said quietly. "Before Mitchell got to you. Filed official paperwork about our relationship." She turned to him. "You did? It protects you. Company policy says no one can fire you or make your work environment hostile because we're together. It's documented. Legal. Why didn't you tell me?" "Wanted it done first. Actions, not promises." He squeezed her hand. "I won't let anyone make you feel like you don't belong, Jasmine. Not Mitchell, not anyone." The water lapped against the seawall below. A ferry horn sounded in the distance. "I'm scared," she admitted. "Me too." "You? Scared? Terrified? Of messing this up? Of losing you? Of not being enough?" He looked at her. "But you're worth being scared for." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Sunday dinner with my family. You sure you're ready?" "Are they scarier than Mitchell?" "Way scarier." "Then I'll survive." They sat there as the city lights reflected on the dark water, holding on to each other while the world moved around them. It wasn't perfect. It was complicated, but it was theirs. Sunday arrived with clear skies and Jasmine's complete panic. "What if she hates him?" she asked Chloe over the phone while reorganizing her closet for the 3rd time. "Your mama doesn't hate anyone. She's lovely. She interrogated my last boyfriend for 45 minutes. He never came back." "That's because he was terrible. Remember, he thought Nigeria was a city. Dominic's going to be so out of place." "Good. Let him be uncomfortable. It's character building." At noon, Dominic texted, "What should I bring?" Jasmine, "Nothing, just yourself." Dominic, "That feels wrong." Jasmine, "Fine. Wine. Red. Nothing too expensive or Mama will think you're showing off." Dominic, Noted. He picked her up at 1:30, wearing dark jeans and a blue button-down. Casual, almost normal. You look nervous, she observed. I am nervous. You negotiate million-dollar deals for breakfast. Those don't matter, this does. Her heart did that complicated thing again. The drive to Parramatta was quiet. Dominic's hands were tight on the steering wheel. Jasmine kept stealing glances at him. My brother's going to test you, she warned. How? Questions. Lots of questions. He's protective. Understandable. And Mama's going to ask about your intentions. Also understandable. You're very calm about this. I'm terrified, I'm just hiding it well. They pulled up to her mother's house, a neat weatherboard with a garden full of vegetables and flowers. Jonathan's car was already in the driveway. Last chance to run, Jasmine said. Dominic kissed her quickly. Not a chance. Her mama opened the door before they'd even made it up the path. She was small, round, wearing a bright Ankara print dress and the expression of a woman who missed nothing. Jasmine! She pulled her daughter into a hug, then turned her sharp gaze to Dominic. And you must be the man she won't stop talking about. Mama! What? It's true. She held out her hand. I'm Evelyn. Come in. Come in. Inside, the house smelled like home. Jollof rice, fried plantain, chicken stew. Jonathan appeared from the living room, tall and built like he could throw someone through a wall. This is my brother, Jonathan, Jasmine said. Jonathan and Dominic shook hands. The grip looked painful. Dominic Shaw, Jonathan said slowly. I Googled you. Jonathan, Jasmine hissed. What? I'm thorough. He turned back to Dominic. Says here you're worth $2–3 billion. Estimates vary. You own half of Sydney, quarter of Sydney, maybe a third. And you're dating my sister. If she'll have me, yes. Jonathan studied him for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, he smiled. Good answer. Come on, Mama's been cooking since dawn. The dining table was covered in food, enough to feed 20 people, not 4. Evelyn watched Dominic's face as he took in the spread. Everything okay? She asked. This is incredible, Mrs. Carter. Call me Evelyn and you're Igbo. Dominic looked confused. I'm Australian? Jasmine jumped in. He's asking if you know how to eat with your hands, Mama. Oh, I can learn. Evelyn's face softened. Good. Sit. Eat. Tell me how you met my daughter. They sat. Jasmine served everyone, piling Dominic's plate high. He looked at the amount of food with something like alarm. You eat all of it, Evelyn said firmly, or I'll think you don't like my cooking. Yes, ma'am, Jonathan grinned. She's got him already. Lunch was surprisingly good. Evelyn asked questions, lots of them, but they were kind, curious. Dominic talked about growing up in Melbourne, his sister, taking over his father's company at 30. And your parents? Evelyn asked. They approve of Jasmine? My father passed away 6 years ago, but my sister loves her. My mother would too if she weren't traveling through Europe right now. Your mother travels alone? She says she spent 40 years taking care of us. Now it's her time. Evelyn nodded approvingly. Smart woman. Jonathan was quieter, but Jasmine could tell he was listening, watching how Dominic treated their mama, how he asked about her garden, how he insisted on helping clean up. After lunch, Jonathan pulled Dominic outside under the pretense of showing him the backyard. Through the kitchen window, Jasmine watched them talk. He's good, Evelyn said beside her. You think so? He looks at you like you hung the moon, and he's not scared of family, that's important. It's still early, Mama. Her mother wiped down the counter. But you love him, I can see it. I don't, Jasmine paused. Maybe, a little. It's complicated. Love is always complicated, that's how you know it's real. Outside, Jonathan and Dominic were laughing about something. The sight made Jasmine's chest tight. What did Jonathan say to him? She asked. Probably threatened to break his legs if he hurts you. Mama! What? It's a brother's job. Evelyn patted her hand. But I think this one's going to stick around. When they left 2 hours later, Evelyn hugged Dominic like he was already family. You come back next week, she ordered. I'll make a goosey soup. I'd love that. And you. She pointed at Jasmine. Stop being scared. This one's good. Don't let him get away. In the car, Dominic exhaled slowly. How'd I do? He asked. Jonathan only threatened you once. That's a record. He told me if I hurt you, he knows people who know people. Sounds about right. And your mama asked if I was serious about you. What did you say? Dominic pulled over, put the car in park and turned to face her. I said yes, that I've been half in love with you since you derailed a board meeting by pointing out a math error no one else caught, that I'm completely in love with you now, and that if she'd let me, I'd like to keep coming to Sunday dinners for the foreseeable future. Jasmine couldn't breathe. You told my mama you love me before you told me. Is that bad? It's unexpected. I can take it back. She kissed him, right there in the car on a suburban street in Parramatta. Kissed him until they were both breathless. Don't take it back, she whispered, because I love you too. His smile was worth everything. Monday morning, everything changed. Dominic walked into the office at 8:15, stopped at Jasmine's desk, and kissed her on the forehead in full view of 3 accountants, 2 interns, and Senior VP Mitchell. Good morning, he said, like he hadn't just detonated a bomb. Jasmine stared at him. What are you doing? Being honest. He set down her coffee, flat white, 2 sugars. I'm tired of hiding. Dominic, we'll talk later. I have a meeting at 9. He smiled at her, really smiled, and walked to his office. The whispers started immediately. By 9:30, Chloe had called twice and texted 17 times. Chloe, what happened? Chloe, why is everyone saying Dominic Shaw kissed you at work? Chloe, call me immediately. Jasmine stepped into the stairwell and dialed. He kissed you at work. Chloe shrieked without preamble, on the forehead in front of everyone. Oh my God, he's claiming you. He's making my life complicated. He's making a statement. There's a difference. Chloe paused. How do you feel about it? Jasmine leaned against the wall, terrified, relieved, like I might throw up. That's love, babe. That's a panic attack. Same thing. At 10, Jasmine was called to HR. Her stomach dropped. This was it. She was getting fired. Linda from HR was in her 50s, kind-faced, with reading glasses on a chain. She gestured for Jasmine to sit. So, Linda said, you and Mr. Shaw. I can explain. I'm not asking you to explain. I'm asking if you're okay with the relationship, if you feel pressured in any way. Jasmine blinked. No, not at all. It's mutual. Good. Because we have policies about power dynamics. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, I don't. He's been nothing but respectful. Linda smiled. I believe you. But people will talk. You know that, right? I'm learning. Some will say you slept your way up, that you're using him, that he's taking advantage. Linda's expression hardened. None of that is true, but it will be said. I can handle it. I hope so. Because Mr. Shaw submitted paperwork this morning. He's officially declared the relationship, which means you're protected under company policy. No one can fire you for dating him. No one can demote you or make your work environment hostile. Jasmine's throat tightened. He did that? First thing this morning. Before he even came to the office, apparently. Linda handed her a folder. This is your copy. Keep it somewhere safe. Back at her desk, Jasmine stared at the paperwork. Dominic had protected her, made it official, put it in writing. At lunch, Daniel appeared with his sad sandwich. So, he said, the CEO. Yeah. That's big. I know. You happy? She looked up at him. Very. Good. He stole a chip from her plate. Just so you know, I had money on you two. Been running a pool since that gala thing. You what? It sees everything. We knew something was happening. He grinned. I won $50. Thanks for that. Despite everything, Jasmine laughed. That afternoon she was filing reports when Senior VP Mitchell cornered her again. But this time, his expression was different. Careful. Ms. Carter, Mr. Mitchell, I owe you an apology. What I said last week was out of line. She studied him. What changed? Got called into Shaw's office this morning. He made it very clear that any hostility toward you would result in immediate termination. Mitchell looked uncomfortable. He also made it clear that you earned your position, that you've been keeping this company running for 5 years while the rest of us took credit. He said that in front of the entire senior management team. Mitchell held out his hand. So, clean slate? Jasmine shook it. Clean slate. At 6, when most people had left, Jasmine knocked on Dominic's office door. Come in. He was at his desk, tie loosened, sleeves rolled up. When he saw her, his expression softened. Hi. You declared us to HR, she said. I did. And yelled at Mitchell. I didn't yell. I was very professional about it. Dominic. I meant what I said Sunday, in the car. He stood, walked around the desk. I love you, and I'm not hiding it anymore, not from the office, not from anyone. People will talk. Let them. He pulled her close. I've spent my entire adult life building this company, being professional, doing the right thing, and I was miserable. Then you walked into that archive room and everything changed. I didn't walk in. You did. Details. He kissed her softly. Point is, I'm done pretending you don't matter. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Jasmine touched his face. You protected me. With the paperwork. Of course I did. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. Because you matter more than this company, more than my reputation, more than anything. She kissed him, long and deep and full of everything she couldn't say. When they broke apart, he rested his forehead against hers. Come home with me tonight, he said quietly. Your place. If you want, or we can go to yours, or just drive around. I don't care. I just want to be with you. Your place, she decided. I want to see those vinyl records you never listened to. He smiled. It's a date. They left the building together, hand in hand, while the cleaning crew watched with knowing smiles. In the car, Jasmine looked at him. You know this makes everything more complicated, right? I know. We'll have to navigate office politics, deal with gossip, watch everything we do. Worth it. How can you be so sure? He brought her hand to his lips, kissed her knuckles. Because for 5 years, I was invisible to myself, going through motions. Then you made me visible, made me feel, made me human again. I just answered phones and filed reports. You saw me, he said simply, when no one else did, when I didn't even see myself. So yeah, I'm sure, because you're worth every complication. The harbour lights reflected in the water as they drove toward his penthouse, toward whatever came next, together. Dominic's penthouse was exactly what Jasmine expected and nothing like she imagined. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the harbour, sleek furniture, expensive art on the walls but also dishes in the sink, a jacket thrown over a chair, books stacked on the coffee table. It's not as sterile as I thought it'd be, she said. Were you expecting a museum? Little bit. He laughed, pulling off his tie. My housekeeper quit last month, said I was too messy. Can I get you something? Wine, water? Wine sounds good. While he poured, Jasmine wandered to the vinyl collection, an entire wall of records organized alphabetically. Miles Davis, Billie Holiday, Etta James, Nina Simone. You have excellent taste, she called out. My father's collection, he left them to me. Dominic appeared beside her with 2 glasses. Haven't had the heart to listen to most of them. Why not? Reminds me of him, and that's, complicated. She took the wine, studied his face. Tell me about him. They sat on the couch, not touching at first, but close. Dominic stared at his glass. He was brilliant, ruthless, built this company from nothing, but he was also absent, demanding. Nothing was ever good enough. He paused. When he died, I inherited everything. The company, the money, the expectation that I'd be just like him. Are you? I tried to be, for 6 years. Worked myself half to death, forgot how to be human, then you... He stopped. You reminded me that there's more to life than profit margins. Jasmine set down her glass and took his hand. Your father was wrong. You're already good enough. His eyes met hers. How do you do that? Do what? Say exactly what I need to hear. Practice. I've been watching you for 5 years, remember? That's slightly creepy. You watched me too, you knew my coffee order. Fair point. They sat in comfortable silence. Outside, the city sparkled. A ferry moved across the dark water. Play me something, Jasmine said. What? A record. Play me your favorite. Dominic set down his glass and walked to the collection. Pulled out an album. Nina Simone's Little Girl Blue. The music filled the apartment. Slow, soulful, heartbreaking. He held out his hand. Dance with me? Here? Now? Why not? She let him pull her up. They swayed slowly, her head on his chest, his arms around her waist. No fancy ballroom, no elegant gowns, just them and Nina Simone and the harbor lights. I could get used to this, she murmured. Good, because I'm not letting you go. Possessive. Completely. The song ended. Another began. They kept dancing. Jasmine? Stay tonight, please. She pulled back to look at him. His expression was open, vulnerable, hoping. Okay. Relief flooded his face. Yeah? Yeah. He kissed her. Soft at first, then deeper. She melted into him, fingers tangling in his hair. He backed her toward the bedroom, never breaking the kiss. The room was dark except for the city lights filtering through the curtains. The bed was unmade, sheets tangled, pillows askew. Sorry, he muttered. Wasn't expecting company. I like it. It's human. You keep saying that word, because you keep forgetting you are one. He laughed against her mouth. Remind me. She did. Later, much later, they lay tangled in his sheets. Jasmine traced patterns on his chest. Dominic played with her hair, wrapping the curls around his fingers. Tell me something nobody knows about you, she said. I'm terrified of failure. That's not a secret. You're a CEO. No, I mean, he paused. I'm terrified that one day everyone will realize I have no idea what I'm doing. That I'm just pretending, making it up as I go. She propped herself up on one elbow. Dominic, everyone is making it up. That's life. You're not. You always know exactly what to do. I absolutely do not. I panic-texted Chloe for 45 minutes before our first date. Really? She had to talk me out of cancelling twice. He pulled her closer. I'm glad you didn't cancel. Me too. They were quiet for a moment, then, your turn, he said. Tell me something nobody knows. I wanted to quit 2 years ago. I had another job offer. Better pay, better title. Why didn't you? Because of you. He went still. What? You'd just lost that major client, the one in Singapore. You were devastated, wouldn't leave your office for days. Everyone else had given up on you. But she paused. I couldn't leave you like that, so I stayed. Jasmine, I told myself it was professional, that I was just being a good assistant. But really, I think I was already falling for you, even then. He kissed her forehead, her nose, her mouth. I'm so glad you stayed. Worth it? Every second. She nestled into his side. His heartbeat was steady under her ear. Can I ask you something, Yao, she said. Anything. What happens now? With us? With work? What do you want to happen? I don't want special treatment. I don't want people thinking I only got promoted because we're together. You won't be promoted because we're together. You'll be promoted because you're brilliant and competent, and should have been promoted years ago. Dominic, I'm serious. I've been reviewing your work. You've single-handedly prevented at least 6 major crises in the past year alone. You deserve director-level compensation minimum. That feels like special treatment. It's called recognizing talent. There's a difference. He tilted her chin up. But if it makes you uncomfortable, I'll have HR handle it. Independent review. Market rate comparison. Everything by the book. You do that? I'd do anything to make you comfortable, to keep you. He kissed her softly. I love you, Jasmine. All of you. The brilliant assistant. The woman who makes bad puns. The person who saw me when I was invisible to myself. Tears pricked her eyes. I love you too. They fell asleep like that, tangled together, the vinyl collection silent, the city glittering below them. For the first time in years, Dominic slept past 6 a.m., and for the first time in forever, Jasmine didn't hate mornings. 3 months later, Jasmine stood in front of the mirror in Dominic's bathroom, adjusting her blazer. Director of Operations. The promotion had come through last week, approved by an independent HR committee. Market rate analysis, 0 involvement from Dominic. She'd earned it. You ready? Dominic appeared in the doorway, already dressed in his suit. Nervous. Don't be. You've run that department unofficially for 2 years. Now you just get the title and pay. And my own office, with a window. He came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist. Proud of you. She leaned into him. Thank you for not making it weird. You did this yourself, I just stopped getting in your way. They'd fallen into a rhythm over the past 3 months. Weekdays at his place or hers, Sunday dinners with Evelyn and Jonathan, Saturday mornings at the coffee shop on Kent Street. Normal couple things, except nothing about them was normal, and that was perfect. At the office, things had settled. The gossip had died down. People had adjusted. Jasmine was good at her job, everyone could see that now. The ones who couldn't didn't matter. Her new office was on the 10th floor, smaller than Dominic's, but hers. She spent the morning moving in, files, photos, a plant Chloe had given her that would probably die within a week. At noon, Chloe showed up with champagne and takeout. Director Carter, she announced, popping the bottle. I'm so proud I could cry. Please don't. Too late. Chloe wiped her eyes dramatically. My best friend is a boss. A literal boss. I've been a boss. No, you've been the boss's girlfriend. Now you're a boss on your own merit, there's a difference. They toasted with plastic cups because Jasmine didn't have real glasses yet. So, Chloe said, settling into the visitor's chair. When's he proposing? Jasmine choked on her champagne. What? Oh, please. The man looks at you like you invented oxygen. It's only a matter of time. We've only been together 3 months. You've worked together for 5 years, that counts. That's not how it works. Isn't it, though? Chloe grinned. Just saying. If I were a billionaire in love, I'd lock that down. After Chloe left, Jasmine tried to focus on work. Failed. The conversation kept replaying. Marriage. She hadn't thought about it. Or had she? Her phone buzzed. Dominic. Dinner at your mama's tonight. She texted me directly. Should I be scared? Jasmine. Terrified. She's making a goosey soup. Dominic. The one she promised me. Jasmine. That's the one. Dominic. Worth the terror. That evening, Evelyn's house smelled incredible. Dominic had stopped being nervous around her family weeks ago. Now he helped in the kitchen, argued about football with Jonathan, let Evelyn fuss over him. You're too skinny, she declared, piling his plate high. Jasmine, you're not feeding him. He eats fine, Mama. Evelyn studied them both. You two are happy? Very, Jasmine said. Good, because I'm not getting any younger. I need grandchildren. Mama. What? I'm just saying. Dominic hid his smile behind his fork. After dinner, they sat in the backyard. Jonathan had left for a night shift. Evelyn was inside on the phone. The jacaranda tree rustled in the breeze. Your family is amazing, Dominic said. They've adopted you. I'm honored. They sat in comfortable silence, the kind of silence that only comes with deep familiarity. Can I ask you something? Dominic said finally. Always. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Jasmine thought about it. Happy, fulfilled. Maybe still at Titan. Maybe somewhere else. Why? Because I see myself with you, in 5 years, 10 years, however long you'll have me. Her heart stuttered. Dominic, I'm not proposing, not yet. Your friend Chloe would kill me for doing it without a proper ring. He took her hand. But I want you to know, this isn't casual for me. This isn't temporary. You're it, Jasmine. She couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. I spent 5 years not seeing you, he continued. I'm not wasting another day. So yeah, in 5 years, I see us. Together. Building something. Maybe starting a family if you want. Maybe just continuing to steal Sunday dinners from your mama. I don't care as long as you're there. I want that too, she whispered. Yeah? Yeah, all of it. He kissed her, soft and sweet and full of promise. Good, because I already asked Jonathan for permission. She pulled back. You what? Last week. He said yes, with conditions, mostly about treating you right and attending every family dinner for the rest of my life. You asked my brother for permission. And your mama. She cried, then threatened me, then cried again. Jasmine laughed, tears in her own eyes. You're ridiculous. I'm in love. Same thing. They sat there as the sun set, painting the sky orange and pink, the same sky that had watched them for 5 years, through invisible days and visible nights, through coffee orders and archive rooms and everything that came after. Thank you, Jasmine said softly. For what? For seeing me. Finally seeing me. Dominic pulled her close. Thank you for making me visible to myself, for reminding me I'm human, for being patient while I figured it out. Was it worth it? The wait? Every second. He kissed her temple. Every single second. Inside, Evelyn called them for dessert. They stood, hand in hand, and walked toward the light spilling from the kitchen, toward family, toward future, toward forever. Two people who'd been invisible, to others, to themselves, finally, beautifully seen. 6 months later. The engagement ring was simple, a single diamond on a platinum band. Dominic proposed at the coffee shop on Kent Street, 7:45 a.m., over flat whites with 2 sugars. Jasmine said yes before he finished the question. They got married in Evelyn's backyard under the jacaranda tree. Small ceremony, close friends and family. Chloe cried through the entire thing, so did Claire. Even Jonathan got misty-eyed. At the reception, Daniel from IT won another $50 in the office pool. Called it, he said, raising his glass. You two were always endgame. Jasmine kept her job. Dominic kept his. They kept showing up, kept working, kept building. But now, when Dominic walked past her office, he stopped, smiled, sometimes stole a kiss when no one was looking. And when Jasmine caught him watching her during meetings, she no longer wondered if she was invisible. She was seen, loved, chosen, every single day. The end. Sometimes the most extraordinary love stories begin with the simplest truth, being truly seen by someone who takes the time to really look. Thank you so much for listening to The Woman No One Saw. If you enjoyed Jasmine and Dominic's love story, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our next romance. See you in the next story.